In March 2022, NBA Youngboy released a few teaser songs to his album, The Last Slimedo. So he released, I think, like 8 or 9 songs. And one of my friends, Da Vinci, he produced one of those songs, and he was talking in a group chat about how once the full album would come out in August, it would go gold pretty much straight away. It would go gold in like a month because the other songs were doing so well. And I was like, holy shit, that's like a guaranteed gold. And at that moment, I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna do everything I can to get on this album. So I never really made any Youngboy loops prior to then, but I was really, really determined to go gold. That was like my goal. I remember the name on my laptop was wayvbeats gold. I had a gold plaque as like my lock screen, so I really wanted to go gold. So I started studying Youngboy's music, and I started making Youngboy loops. I just thought I'm gonna be depressed if I'm not on this album. I started making these Youngboy loops, and I was also trying to work with all of the Youngboy producers because I'm trying to send them the loops. And when I started, I was actually quite terrible. This is the first BR loop that I ever made. That loop actually got placed with Youngboy like a year later. There's a song called Slump. That's sort of another lesson in itself that's like, you don't actually have to make the greatest loops. Anyways, I wasn't very good, but I was getting better and better, and I was trying to find my sound with these loops, but I was sort of in a race against time because I knew the album was coming out in August. Around this time, I started working with Benji as well, who was also a sample maker, and he had produced on the last Youngboy album as well, and he was very, very good. And I sent him a few starters, and he finished some of the starters. And one of the starters that he used was this one here. So I remember sending that to him, and then there was something that was like out of tune or some shit, so maybe I re-recorded it. I don't really remember. It wasn't just like he finished it and sent it back. I think it was a bit more of a back and forth process, but then he sent me that loop back, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I pitched that one up by 2, and then started sending it out on my weekly list. On top of sending it to my weekly list, I was also sending it to these Youngboy producers. A lot of the Youngboy producers were posting on their story, I need loops for Youngboy, because everyone knew he was trying to finish this album. So I'd be sending this exact loop plus others to all of these different producers. I probably sent this exact loop to like 8 or 10 Youngboy producers, and I know that none of them use this loop. However, like a week or 2 later, Disan, he added me as a collaborator on BeatStars, and I checked out the beat, and I was like, yeah, this beat is hard as fuck. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he got that from my weeklies, and then he uploaded that beat. I didn't think much of it at all, and I'm just continuing to make these Youngboy loops. I'm just doing everything I can. But yeah, fast forward to about April, and I remember I was really, really sick. So my sleep pattern was a bit fucked up. Like I was eating cereal like 2 a.m. And I remember waking up at like 3 or 4 a.m. and I checked my phone, and my friend's like, yo, Disan just got a song with Youngboy. And I was like, no way. Because me and Disan had been working for ages. We've been working since like 2021 because he found me from a YouTube loop kit. I was like, that is crazy. Like Disan got a Youngboy placement. And I'm half asleep. And I check his story, and it was like, new Youngboy produced by me and Benji. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I turned it up, and I was like, wait a fucking minute, bruv. I was like, that's my fucking guitar, bruv. I was like, I did that loop as well. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm on like 1 health, on the verge of death, because it's 4 a.m. and I'm so sick. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like I did the loop on this, and I'm listening to it because he did it on a live stream. I couldn't believe it. It was a very surreal moment. I remember texting Disan, I was like, yo bro, I did the guitar on that, blah, 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 blah. But then you're faced with the next problem, which is, okay, is the song actually going to drop on the album? So this part is cool, but then 2 days later, you start stressing a bit because you're like, wait a minute, is this going to come out or not? Because the thing is, if you have a snippet with an artist and it doesn't drop, it's pretty much useless. Like, you're not going to get paid for it. You're not going to get the plaque and the certification that comes with it. It's actually quite depressing. Last year, I produced on a Rod Wave snippet, and it didn't make the album. I think that album's already gone platinum, and it's just like, I could have been on the album. Anyways, me, Benji, and Disan are all stressing to the fucking max. A week and a half before the album comes out, and we've got no idea what is happening with the song or if it's coming out. We've heard nothing. So we're stressing out. And as a day goes past, more and more people in group chats are like, oh yeah, we got hit up about paperwork. We got hit up about paperwork. And we're just here stressing. We're like, fucking hell. I remember I couldn't even sleep. I think it was like a week before when a few people had got hit up about paperwork and we hadn't. I literally couldn't sleep. It was the most stressed I've ever been in my whole life. I don't know why. It just felt like do or die, really. I guess I just knew how big of a deal it was for me to be on that. Anyways, Luckily, with about 6 days to go, we get messaged about it. And that was very nice. I remember Benji was still like, nah. I don't care. I'm not celebrating until I actually hear the song on the album. I think he's had his like heart broken or some shit in the past from something happening. To be fair, if you've been producing for a while, you've probably had that happen. You've like signed the contract and you think the song's done. You think you're going to get paid the advance and just never happens. So I think that's what Benji was scared of. I mean, we were all scared of it. When the track list came out, it was number 17, Slow Down, and that was the same name as the song on the contract. And then I was like, oh shit, like it's actually on there. And Benji was still like, nah, I don't care. I'm going to wait till the thing. Maybe the track list would change. But yeah, fast forward to the Friday. It was like Friday 2 p.m. when it dropped and it came out. And I actually did a live on Instagram reacting to the song. And I had it saved on my phone, but then I got robbed and I lost all my videos. So I can't show, unfortunately. But it was just a surreal feeling. I was like, what the fuck? It's like the feeling you get from that is the reason why you want to just keep going. But yeah, it was super surreal. I guess a song like that, it just opens up doors for you and it sort of gives you a taste of what's possible and what you can really do. Anyways, that song came out. I don't know how long it took for it to go gold. It also, the numbers were leaked that it went Billboard #1, but then Bad Bunny just miraculously on the 13th week did like another 20K in sales and it made it go Billboard #2. It was a load of bullshit, but yes, it was a Billboard #2, but it was actually a Billboard #1. It was rigged. You're gonna think I'm chatting shit, but it was actually rigged. And then it went platinum, but it hasn't been like certified for some reason. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. This is actually the most important part of the video. What I want to talk about, which is very important, are the lessons you can take away from this and the lessons that I took away from this. First of all, I sent this same loop that me and Benji did to 10 young boy producers and none of them used it. And then Design used it and it got placed and it made the album. It goes to show that music is very subjective. Just because you send your loop to someone and they don't use it doesn't mean that the loop is bad. Maybe they just weren't feeling it. Maybe that's not the vibe they were making. There are a million different reasons, right? But don't get discouraged because someone doesn't use your loop. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts and trust, okay, this is a good loop. Even though these people didn't use it, I still know it's a good loop, right? That's the first lesson to take away. Music is subjective. Second of all is the importance of going tunnel vision, right? So for me, I had a very set goal. I had a deadline for when I had to achieve it and I had a specific artist I was going for, right? It wasn't any of this like hairy-fairy walking around like, whoop-de-doo, maybe I'll get a placement one day. It was like, I'm making Young Boy loops until August. Just when you have a specific goal and a time frame, it just becomes so much more powerful and you just move with a lot more urgency, you move quickly. You can just arrive to that destination much quicker. And I guess the third lesson, which is sort of cliche, is just when you are committed to something and when you stick to something, it pays off. The universe just rewards you. Like there is nothing really that you can't do if you just put your mind. It sounds fucking a bit cliche, I know, but it's so true. Like constantly I'm reminded of this. Even when I tried hard in school and then I got a good result, it's just like things as small as that is just when you put in the work, you will get the result. Like don't get it twisted. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't question yourself. Like when you do this, it does equal this. Maybe there is a delay, maybe there's a lag, maybe time hasn't caught up yet. Be patient because with producing, there is often a lag. Sometimes you make a loop, 2 years later it gets placed. So there is a lag, and yeah, I guess it just reminded me to stay hungry, blah, blah, blah. I actually learned a whole lot of lessons after this. After I got this song, I sort of took my foot off the pedal. I stopped being as hungry and I shot myself in the foot. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment. I would definitely appreciate it. Also join my broadcast channel where I am posting value and opportunities and tips in there daily. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.